Welcome to Pagoda Podcast, where we explore ideas, strategies, and insights to help businesses grow and scale. We are actually using that exact quote as our foundation today because, well, we're doing a deep dive into the real mechanics of business value.
Right, the stuff that actually makes a company worth buying.
Exactly. Because, imagine you've spent 10 years building a company. It generates like $5 million a year in pure profit.
Which is the dream, right?
Right. It's your life's work. But then you finally decide it's time to sell. You sit down at the negotiating table, and the buyer offers you exactly $0.
Ouch.
Why? Because the entire operation completely relies on you. Like, you are the only one who knows how to run it. The moment you leave, the business collapses.
It's a terrifying scenario, but it happens constantly.
It really does. So our mission in this deep dive is to unpack the core philosophy of what buyers are actually looking for before an acquisition. Whether you're an owner prepping for a sale or just someone trying to understand scalability, the goal is reducing dependency.
Yeah, making it run like a machine.
Exactly. Not just relying on one person's constant intervention.
The scenario you just laid out, it's kind of the ultimate paradox of entrepreneurship. We are culturally conditioned to view business growth purely through the lens of top-line revenue.
Oh, for sure. Bigger numbers mean a better company.
That's the assumption, but the reality of mergers and acquisitions completely flips that narrative. The foundational premise of true enterprise value isn't just about the cash flowing in today.
It's about the systems.
Precisely. It is entirely about the systems generating that cash.
Yeah.
Because systems fundamentally reduce the risk profile for an incoming buyer.
Right.
When a firm looks at an acquisition, they assess risk just as much as reward.
No.
If the founder is holding the whole operation together with duct tape, sheer willpower, and 60-hour work weeks,
Huge red flag.
a massive red flag. Buyers do not want to acquire a business where the owner is the linchpin for everything.
It's kind of like having a beautifully customized sports car.
Oh, I like that. It might be incredibly fast, it looks amazing, but if you're the original owner and you're the only person who actually knows how to turn the key and drive the thing...
Resale value plummets.
Exactly. If no one else can drive it, nobody wants to buy it.
That is a perfect analogy.
Right.
And that's why buyers prioritize smooth processes over sheer hustle. Hustle gets a business off the ground, and we can all respect the grind, but...
Hustle isn't an asset.
No, it's not. A well-structured business is fundamentally easier to scale and, crucially, infinitely easier to transfer.
Right.
When an acquisition happens, the buyer wants to step in and know exactly how the engine works without having to reverse engineer the founder's brain. That makes structure the ultimate currency in an acquisition.
Okay, so if structure is everything, we really need to define what that actually looks like in practice. What specific systems are buyers scrutinizing?
Well, the source material breaks down what they expect to see into 4 core systems. The first is operational systems.
This is just how the actual work gets done, right? From order to delivery. Does it happen the same way every time?
Got it.
Then you have financial systems, and this isn't just having a bank account, it's ensuring accurate, timely reporting. A buyer is going to send in forensic accountants, and they need to trust the numbers implicitly.
Because if the numbers are messy, the buyer just walks away.
Oh, instantly. Or they massively slash your valuation. The third pillar is sales systems, which is guaranteeing consistent lead generation and conversion. And finally, customer systems.
So like onboarding, support, retention.
Exactly. Handling the client lifecycle without the CEO having to step in to save the day.
Okay, I want to push back on the sales system part for a second.
Sure, go for it.
Let's say I'm the owner, and I am just an incredibly charismatic rainmaker, right?
Right.
My margins are incredible. I know everyone in the industry. I'm closing massive enterprise deals on the golf course. Does a buyer really care if my quote-unquote sales system is just my own personal charisma? I'm bringing in millions.
It's so funny you say that because founders always ask this. And it's the hardest pill for visionary founders to swallow. But the source text is very clear. Your charisma is actually a massive liability to an acquirer.
Wait, really? A liability?
Yeah, because they aren't paying for your past revenue. They are paying for the right to your future revenue. If you are the charismatic closer, what happens the day after the acquisition closes and you walk away to retire?
Oh, the relationships leave with me.
Exactly. The sales pipeline instantly dries up. The source facts reinforce that consistent lead generation and conversion, a true repeatable formula, is what matters. Relying on an owner's charisma is the exact opposite of a transferable system.
Wow. So personal talent actually does not translate to business value,
Not at all.
which I guess segues perfectly into the biggest danger we see in the source material, danger of keeping everything in the owner's head.
Oh, the owner's head is the single biggest threat to enterprise value. It basically implies a total lack of documentation, zero automation.
Just a complete absence of standard processes.
Yes. And it has a devastating impact on valuation, because even if you are wildly profitable right now, if the processes aren't documented and standardized, the business just isn't transferable.
Right. And if it's not transferable, it's not attractive to a buyer.
Exactly.
It really makes profitability feel like an illusion. For the listener, think about this. Sure, the bank account looks great, but if that profit is tethered to one person's unwritten institutional knowledge,
Then you don't really own a valuable asset.
right, the person is valuable, but the business itself isn't.
Right. You just own a very high-paying job.
That is such a crucial distinction. So how do we actually fix this? How do we extract that knowledge from the owner's head and turn it into a tangible asset?
Well, the text highlights a few specific remedies.
Yeah.
It really comes down to implementing documentation, process clarity, and automation.
It's kind of like baking.
Right.
You could have this world-class master chef in the kitchen making amazing food, but a buyer doesn't want the chef.
No, they don't.
They want an airtight, step-by-step recipe that literally any competent cook can follow to get the exact same result. They are buying the recipe, not the chef.
That's a perfect analogy. Because having those elements, the documentation and automation, it builds buyer confidence and scalability. It transitions the business from a fragile, personality-driven operation into a resilient, independent entity.
Okay, so knowing what needs to be done is one thing, but how is it actually executed? Writing an entire textbook of processes while running a company sounds impossible.
It is incredibly difficult to do on your own. And that brings us to the specific methodology used by Black Pagoda to achieve this transformation.
Right.
The source material highlights their specific role. They step in to physically map out processes, implement the necessary systems, and utilize technology to automate repetitive tasks.
And for you listening, even if you aren't at the stage of hiring a firm to overhaul your whole company, Black Pagoda's approach, map, implement, and automate is a mental framework you can apply to your own work right now.
Oh, absolutely.
Whether you're running a whole company or just managing a small team, you can use that.
Exactly. Because the ultimate goal of Black Pagoda's intervention and this entire philosophy really is to make the business run like a machine,
Right.
so that it is prepped for both immediate growth, because the owner isn't the bottleneck anymore, and an eventual lucrative sale.
Okay, we've covered a ton of ground here today on systemization and value. Let's distill all this down for the listener. What are the final powerful takeaways from the source?
I'd say there are three main ones. First, systems are the crucial tool for reducing owner dependency.
Yep.
Second, a profitable business can still lose significant value if it isn't transferable. Profit without process is a risk.
For sure.
And third, the golden rule. If your business can run without you, it becomes highly valuable.
I love that. If it runs without you, it's valuable. That is the perfect distillation. If you want to dig into the actual mechanics of how to pull this off, you need to visit the recommended resource from today's deep dive. Just go to www.blackpagoda.com.
It's a phenomenal resource for getting these systems in place.
Definitely. Again, that's www.blackpagoda.com. Now, as we wrap up, I want to leave you with a final thought to mull over. Think about your own daily workflow right now. What is the one crucial task you did today that absolutely only you know how to do?
That's a scary question.
It is. And more importantly, what would happen to your team's value if you couldn't do it tomorrow?